Hi there. The tipping point in Cameroon came when a 9-year-old girl collapsed and died during a prayer session in a Pentecostal church called Winners Chapel in Bamenda. The mother reported that the pastor intended to cast out the numerous demons that were supposedly in control of the daughter's life. The mother lamented that, "I want the government to stop these pastors who use mysterious powers to pull Christians and kill them for more powers. All my children have run away from the Catholic Church in search of miracles, signs, and wonders." The Northwest Regional Governor reported that the police had discovered the abduction of 30 children under the age of 30 years old by a pastor in Bamenda. The pastor said he wanted to remove the children from the influences of bad society. A government official said, "We will get rid of all the so-called Christian Pentecostal pastors who misuse the name of Jesus Christ to fake miracles and kill citizens in their churches. They have outstretched their liberty." These revival churches have been accused of not only disturbing neighbors with loud services, but with ripping off vulnerable people and engaging in criminal practices such as extortion. Government officials reported a growing trend where some pastors convinced their congregants that they did not require professional medical treatment for their ailments. A woman narrated how her mother was refused cancer treatment because of her pastor. "My mother's condition is worsening after doctors confirmed she had cancer. She is dying silently, and yet we cannot persuade her to see a doctor for proper treatment against her pastor's wish." But the Pentecostal pastors, whose churches were closed, have fought back by turning their private homes into churches. The pastors argue that President Biya's government is intimidated by the mass spreading of churches and the freedom of speech that exists within these churches. The pastors have maintained that authorizing only the Catholic, Presbyterian, Baptist, Muslim, and a few other churches is a strict violation of the right to religion. In a typical African country like Cameroon, which is experiencing abject poverty and terminal diseases like HIV/AIDS, many testimonies abound of people who claim to have received spiritual help and faith healing from these same expelled churches. With many Cameroonians living on about $2 a day, the attractive American brand of Pentecostalism, also known as the prosperity gospel, has taken root, promising financial and material blessings and better job prospects through sacrificial giving. Others have sought spiritual protection from haunting spirits. For example, a woman who was Catholic by faith for a decade turned to a Pentecostal church after being tormented by what she calls a spiritual husband and received deliverance. The woman said, "I couldn't sleep in the night. They've always come and have sex with me in the night, every night in a dream. So it was so tormenting, I didn't know what to do." Although this modern type of prosperity Pentecostalism has its roots in America, the kind being practiced in Africa has been Africanized, and it addresses problems and beliefs of Africans as far as supernatural forces may be concerned. What happened in Cameroon's Pentecostal churches and much more is an example of what is taking place in many nations south of the globe, and particularly across the continent of Africa. Millions of young African people are being converted to Christianity. But is this Africanized Pentecostalism a blessing or curse for the continent? The rise of African Pentecostalism is a notable trend, is characterized by a wide range of practices and expressions influenced by local cultures and socio-economic contexts. Be blessed.